Hi, welcome to another video with Ms.Adeoye. Today we're going to be reviewing clocks and answering some more questions that have to do with time. Let's start off by looking at the face of an analog clock. The analog clock uses a shorthand and longhand to tell us the time. Right now, we're going to draw hands on this analog clock. We know one hand is short and points to the hour, and one hand is so long that it points to the minute. The minute counts up by 5. So now we're going to annotate our clock to tell the time. We're going to start off at 1. We know 1 means that it's actually 5 minutes past the hour. Then 10 minutes past the hour, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, 35 minutes, 40 minutes, 45 minutes, 50 minutes, 55 minutes, and o'clock, which means 60 minutes, or a whole hour has passed. Now, we're going to take a look at the shorthand and the longhand and put that information in our clock, digital clock, which means you can tell by the number. So let's take a look at the shorthand. This hand is pointing to the number 10. So it's 10 o'clock. But now we need to find out the hour. And I noticed that the minutes, and I noticed that the minute hand is so long, it's pointing by 5s and it's pointing to a 6. 6 means 30. So this is what 10:30 looks like on the clock. Let's answer these remaining questions. The clock shows the time the Rose family has dinner. What time is shown on the clock? Well, we know that the longhand tells us our hour. And the shorthand tells us our hour. The shorthand is in between 5 and 6, making this time actually 5. So it's 5 o'clock, but now the longhand is so long that it counts up by 5s. And instead of annotating the clock all the way from 1, we're going to actually annotate from half of that time, which is 6. And that represents 30. 30 is half of the 60 minutes in a clock on time. So after 30, we know we're counting up by 5, so it'll be 35, 40, 45, 50. 550. Well, I see 550 2 times in the answer choices. So I'm going to go ahead and /C and /D. But we need to look out for the words AM and PM. AM means morning and PM means afternoon. The question says that the clock shows the time the Rose family had dinner. When do we have dinner? In the PM. So that makes our answer choice B. It makes it B because AM stands for morning. And we know that this family is not eating dinner in the morning. Next, we're going to draw lines to match the time on each clock in the first row to the same time shown in the second row. I'm going to switch colors back and forth to label it. If you would like to pause the video and try it yourself, you can. Let's take a look at the first clock, which says 7:15. And this highlighted area are the digital clocks. We really need to look at the analog clock to see which answer belongs to which. You should probably annotate over these clocks to find out. Again, this is at the 60-minute mark, or the 30-minute out of 60-minute mark. That's half an hour. So I'm going to write 30 because I already know that is half. The longhand is going to count by fives. And next, the shorthand is in between 6 and 7. And because it is, we have to call it 6 because it hasn't been 7. So I see 6:30 and I notice 6:30 at the top. So I'm going to connect these. And that was my first match. Next, I know the second analog clock. Longhand is pointing on 3 and shorthand is pointing between 8 and 7. If I were to annotate this time, I would start off with 5 just to count some before and make sure that I have the right pattern. Right now, I know that counting by fives, the 3 would make it 15. So the minute is 15. And next, the hand is in between 7 and 8. So it will make it 7. 7:15. All right. Let's keep going. Another halfway point. The long hand points to 30. So I'm going to go ahead and write 30. And the short hand is in between 8 and 7, making this 7. This is what 7:30 looks like. Remember, if the hand is on 7 and it's in between 8, it is going to be 8. It's not 8 yet. So it is 7:30. I know the answer to the last one because all the other answer choices are picked. However, we need to annotate to make sure. 9 is also a special number to remember on the clock. That shows a quarter to the next hour. In clocks, quarter to is 15 minutes from that hour. So you could start off at 9, and 9 would make it 45. If you are unsure, you can start off at 60 and count up to 45. And next, let's take a look at the hour. The hour is between 6 and 7. And we just said that if the hour is in between 6 and 7, it has to be 6 because it has not been 7 o'clock yet. So it is actually 6:45.